Welcome to another video, everyone, and you saw the title. In this video, I'll be discussing how I made $17,000 by 19 years old. Now, most of you have probably seen those titles of those 18, 19-year-olds making 100K a year and see the amount that I've saved as pretty minuscule compared to those. And while that is true, I'm just more interested in showing the real amount that most people my age can save realistically in this time. Some could save more or less depending on your situation in life, but most don't make those crazy amounts at such a young age. It's a trap that even I fell victim to, as I fell into the rabbit hole of these young entrepreneurs making $100,000 a year as a 18-year-old and just feeling like I'm not doing enough. Let's begin by discussing the vehicle I used to save that money, being your average part-time job. I was able to make around $16 an hour as a lifeguard, actually considered underpaid for a lifeguard in my area, where you can usually get around $20 an hour at most jobs. I started when I was 16, I tried to save as much as possible, but I made mistakes, of course. To begin, one of the best tips I can give you guys on this journey is to cut out unnecessary expenditures. When I started trying to save money, I realized that I constantly would DoorDash and Uber Eats food. It felt great in the moment originally, and it was just a sort of habit I built because I didn't have a car before I was 16, of course, and so I would just order food, and it would end up making me spend, like, I think probably 2 times the amount on every order that I would spend just driving. And as I turned 16 and was able to start driving, I just carried on doing it. And when I stopped, it saved me so much money and was allowing me to put way more into the investments I wanted to put into later down the line. Think to yourself, is there anything that I constantly spend money on that I can reduce somehow? I realized that I was going paddleboarding often, spending $30, $50 every time renting one, so I bought a paddleboard off Amazon for $200. It cost a lot, yes, but the return on investment is insane. Now, after I've gone 4 or 5 times paddleboarding, I'll be saving those $30 or $50 I would usually be spending renting one out. It's those small things that make a huge difference. As I started to work more, I was able to save around $300, $400 a month while in high school. I'd also like to say that my dad got me a 20-plus-year-old car and used that to drive around, which is an incredible advantage for me, since not having to pay for a car allowed for me to save a lot more. If you don't have one, you're in a more tricky situation than I was, and it is more difficult. I'd say that the best option for you is to Uber to work, or if you have a close family member or friend drive you there than where you need to go. Then you need to save up and hopefully work with your parents to get a car. It was around 17 years old when I really started to learn about investing. Investing is just simply one of the most important things you will need to learn if you want to save money in the long term. When you keep your money just sitting in a savings account, you're letting it get eaten up by inflation over time, and the best solution to this is just keep your money in either a high yield savings account or invest into a low cost index fund to allow your money to slowly grow while being saved. Investing my money has allowed me to grow my savings while not getting hit by inflation while it's in a bank account. Think about it. Inflation right now is going at around 2-3% every year. And putting your money in a bank account just makes you lose that money every year. You are losing your money every year by just letting it sit there. So things like high yield savings account, which are like, I think right now going for like 3-4% a year you're getting on your money, you get to outpace inflation and a bit more extra money just for keeping it sitting in an account. You're not losing the money. You have no risk. Now, as I started to grow up, I realized that while I'm in high school, I had way less time to work than I wanted to. I was sitting in these 8-hour days and I was just so bored knowing that I could spend a lot of this time working. I could spend a lot of this time making money for my future. And originally, I didn't think about going to community college, which I'm going to speak on later. And so I was like thinking about all these extremely expensive costs I'm going to be putting into college. I mean, college costs have just skyrocketed recently. And most people have to think about what they're going to do with those costs if they're not getting a community college education. The moment that I realized that community college was an option, it was incredible for me. I mean, I was, I think around 17, and I was looking into it, and I found out that community college would basically, I think, be a fourth of the cost a normal college would be. I could get it all done, and I would have a free bachelor's degree almost, because I'd be able to pay it off with the money I've saved. And it would just be an incredible opportunity for me. And even better, in my area, the bachelor's degree I'm getting, they recently put in a program where you could get the bachelor's degree for free, anyone who's graduating high school recently. So basically, I got an incredible opportunity where I was able to go to community college and get this degree for basically free. The moment I figured out about this, I started saving more and more money because I knew that if I could save enough money, I could pay off the entire college tuition and have more to spend. So I started saving even more relentlessly. I picked up more hours. I did it during the weeks of high school, after school, and I started trying to save more and more because I realized that I could have a real opportunity to build wealth. Now, while I was in the midst of all this saving, I really, in general, didn't spend much. When I was in high school, I would just get my parents to buy me shirts and that's it. I would just buy these plain shirts, that's it. I would not buy much. I wasn't into fashion. And because of that, I didn't spend much. I didn't go out that much. I mainly talked to my friends online. And I, because of that, didn't do much. I didn't have many expenditures. And there's a lot of people that have experiences and things they want to do with their friends. That's perfectly okay. Spending money on experiences is great. But you want to look at what you can cut out and try to cut it as much as you can so that you can save as much money for your future, because most people out here that are watching this video are probably going to college or maybe even in it already, and you want to make sure that you have enough money for your future. The moment that I left high school, it was such an incredible boost for my savings rate. I mean, I was able to pick up so many more shifts during the week because college is just less work, less time. And I mean, some may say that college is harder. I personally like it way more because you're not stuck in school 8 hours a day. I feel more motivated to do those smaller amounts of work, even if they are harder. I was able to save, I think, an extra $8,000 that year. I was able to get through, and that was way more than ever I'd saved in high school. I mean, it took me around, I think, probably in high school, it took me 2 years to save 10 grand, and I was able to make 8 in just a year. Another part of this is that I only keep around 1 to 2 grand on me. I don't really keep most of my money on me. Most of it is invested, and the reason is just because I don't need it. I don't need that money right now. What am I going to be spending that much money on? So I like to keep most of it in my investments and let it compound and grow as I'm making more money and just dumping more into these investments, because I think it is the best way to save money, letting your money compound on itself and also outpacing inflation. Now, I myself am pretty lucky in general when it comes to the ability to save. Having a car, having parents who are happy to let me stay with them and save extra while completing community colleges, and just overall good health. Luck in general matters so much in life, and I think a lot of people downplay the effect it has on your life. Luck affects different people in varying ways. Bad luck, good luck, and I think the most important thing is being able to capitalize on that luck. Luck is just in general such an important force in your life, and for me, I got lucky in life. I am in America, which lets you build more wealth than most people in the world, and also I have a car because of my parents. I have loving parents. It is hard to get these things sometimes, and if you have them, you're lucky and you need to seize that opportunity. Also, if you have worse luck, you have to realize that you shouldn't compare yourself to others, because a lot of these other people sometimes just got luckier. Now, of course, a lot of them did seize the opportunities they got with the luck, but also you didn't have as many opportunities. So you need to work with what you have and try and work as hard as you can. If you made it this far in this video, be sure to subscribe and like the video, as we are trying to hit 100 subscribers and we are so close. I thank you all for the incredible support on these past videos, and I'll continue to improve the videos so I can give you guys a good return on your valuable time you're giving to me. Now, what I've done to save all this money is not something that everyone should do. I feel it's a lot more achievable than most of the plans that influencers put out nowadays for your average person, but depending on your circumstances, you have to adjust. You have to change your plans based on the circumstances that you are in and the numerous problems that will pop up along the way. My favorite way to spend money, to try and get the best value of the money I spend, especially when I don't spend as much, is experiences. I love going out with friends, doing things while I'm young. These are some of your best years, and most of you should just enjoy it. Now, it doesn't mean to go on a cruise every month, but more to say, don't go and buy that Nintendo Switch for the insane price they're selling it at, plus the crazy game prices. Go on a trip with friends. I'm going on a trip to Disney with some friends, and my total costs are around $800. That's a lot of money, but I'm treating myself, as I usually don't buy these things, and the amount I've saved puts me far ahead of most my age. It's all about moderation. Looking at how much you've saved, how much you spend, and then trying to plan around that. Another little tip before we end this video off that I've been using ever since I had it available to me would be credit cards. I've gotten over $500 in cashback since I got a credit card, which is when I was 18, simply from redeeming points. Now, not everyone is a credit card person, and if you don't trust yourself with the endless money you can spend on it, do not get one. But if you can manage money well, pay off the card instantly, using it almost as a debit card. Credit cards can give you a lot of money back and extra perks while building credit score for your future. That's all for this video. I hope this helped you out. Be sure to like and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this, and I will see you in the next one.